morning, everyone. Thanks for joining this latest ReferKent Spotlight session with Jason Martin from CAP Enterprise. Thanks very much for your time this morning, and I hope you find the session useful. So over to Jason, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning, everybody. My name's Jason Martin. I come from an organisation called CAP Enterprise. And I'm going to do a slightly different session to normal today. I'm going to do a tiny little introduction about who CAP is, what we're all about, a little bit of our history, and then hopefully run a tiny little micro advice session as well for you. So you'll get a bit of a flavour of what we do within CAP rather than me just sort of sitting here talking at you for half an hour. So my name's Jason Martin. I founded CAP back in 2011, and since that time we've supported somewhere in the region of 3,000 people and organisations across the UK. We are a Kent-based organisation. Most of our activity is focused in Kent, but because of our reputation, which is pretty good, we've been asked to do work as far across as Swindon, and we do quite a lot in London as well. So we're very much Kent-based, very much Kent-focused, but we do work outside of the county and Medway, of course. We're a social enterprise support provider, which in very simple terms means that we sit halfway between CVSs and business support organisations. So the likes of Chambers of Commerce, the Institute of Directors, the Federation of Small Business, who are there to support businesses to thrive. CVSs, NCBO, and various other organisations are very much about supporting the voluntary sector with a real focus on charities to support. And back in about 2005, when I joined the sector, there was this real gap between the two where social enterprise sits. They're not businesses, pure businesses. They're not pure charities. They sit in that space in the middle. And after 5 years of sort of being one of the leading people of providing support to social enterprises with my commercial sensibilities, but also my sort of knowledge of the sector, I felt that there was a real gap in provision. So I decided to put some effort into starting up CAP to provide support for social enterprises at all stages of their development. Now, a social enterprise, for those that don't know, is very much the owners think of it as a business, but it's very much driven by social purpose. Its objective to deliver some social impact or potentially some environmental impact, but it thinks of itself first and foremost as a business which trades to generate most of its income, but which can also access grant funding and can also deliver public service contracts. So that's what we mean by a social enterprise. And as I say, they sit in the middle between charities and for-profit businesses. And we have, for the last 13 years now, actually, we've been supporting from that pre-start stage where someone is thinking about, could I start a social enterprise? Is it something that I could start up? We support through that startup phase. So how to create your memorandum and articles, your sort of foundation documents, your constitution, how to register with Companies House. We then support new starts, people in the very early stages of running a social enterprise, which is tough because you're trying to generate your income, you're trying to keep going, you're trying to juggle lots of different things. And then we support more established social enterprises as well. And we also, in that final established phase, we work with a lot of charities that are looking at embracing this concept of social enterprise. So it could be that there's an ostensibly grant maintained charity that are going, we really want to learn how to generate our own income. And we provide a lot of support for those as well. We also help businesses that want to be a social enterprise transfer across to becoming a social enterprise. So we will give some free support with how to set up a CIC. And we do that in many different ways. Third bullet point there, through coaching. We deliver periodic training. We will sometimes just give straightforward advice to people. No, don't do that. This is the better option. And periodically we will give hands-on support where organisations say, could you come and be part of the team for a period of time? So we'll sometimes work within an organisation to help them. And most recently we were working very closely with Disability Assist, who were way back in 2019 primarily funded through Kent County Council, were, like a lot of organisations, under the threat of that grant, that core grant being withdrawn. So by being part of them, we helped them make a transition. They were Silk, they're now Disability Assist. They now have a big contract with KCC to deliver wellbeing support, and they're looking at growing and diversifying their income elsewhere. We've now reached the end of that relationship. They are now much more stable. They're much more positive about their future, and we're now able to step back because we've helped their transition. So that's where an explanation of the sort of hands-on support we give. The kind of topics that we focus on are sort of around leadership, business development. We're very good at helping people with marketing, planning and setting up strategies. Technology is a new area of demand that we're seeing. A lot of people are looking and saying, well, how can we embrace things like AI? How can we improve our processes and systems using technology? But the one that most people think about us with is the final point there is income diversification. It's a big part of what we do in CAP, is get organisations that ostensibly are grant maintained to look at alternative ways that they can fund themselves, mostly through trading. And it's surprising for a lot of organisations how much income they can generate from trading activity. It just takes us coming in and looking and saying, have you thought about this? This might be an idea. To actually help that. We are able currently, due to some grant funding that we've got on a contract that we have, to offer some free, completely free support. We are funded through the KCC ISF fund. That's infrastructure support fund. So infrastructure organisations like ours are funded to provide free support. So we're funded to run a weekly social enterprise advice session, which is on a Thursday evening from 7:30 until 9, because we want to try and reach people that are maybe busy during the day and want to tap into something in their free time. We also are commissioned by Involve Kent, who are running the wellbeing contracts for West Kent and DGS, to provide support to their subcontractors. So if anyone in the room is a subcontractor of Involve on that particular contract, you can get some free one-to-one support from us, again helping build organizational resilience, looking at things like leadership and planning and so on and so on. On the other half of other side of CAP, we also run direct services, which are all about getting people to be more enterprising, and we've got a couple of programs that we're setting up at the moment. Womenkind is something we've run for a long time. We deliver self-employment training in prisons, and we also run personal development courses in prisons and in the community as well. And they tend to be our income generators, so that we can do the other stuff. Our core activity is cross-subsidised through that. I'll just tell you very, very quickly about our Womenkind programme, because we're currently putting a bid together to go to the lottery, and we're looking for partners to work with. It's a programme that's aimed at supporting women who are looking at a return to the workplace. Maybe they've had a long period of illness and they've not been employed for a while. It could be that they're a mum who's put the time and effort into looking after the kids, but they're struggling to get back into work once the kids have gone to school. Or it could be that the kids have gone to university and the mum's trying to get back into work, and there are just barriers there. We run a 6-week programme, 6 sessions, and the detail of it is there on the screen. And we support about 80% of participants back into some form of economic activity, whether it's self-employment, employment, whether it's some form of vocational education or training or volunteering. 80% of people go into that route within about 3 months of the course finishing. It's really empowering. It's a great thing to do, and we pay our partner organisations to host. So our partner organisations will promote the course locally within their client group, will then provide us with accommodation. We come in and deliver the training, but then we will train those host organisations so that they can then run Womenkind beyond beyond that initial course, and we provide a grant to cover the cost of that. So if anyone is interested in that, that's our website at the bottom. Please do get in touch. More than happy to discuss some potential on that. And we're aiming to put our bid into the lottery within the next month. So if you are interested, please move fairly quickly. Okay, I mentioned that CAP does a lot of support work, supporting those working on the front line to become more socially enterprising. And one of the things that we're getting asked about a lot at the moment is there are a lot of organisations that are really worried about what they're facing currently, the challenges that they're facing. So I've just put together what I've seen as really good practice in terms of building organisational resilience, being able to survive and thrive in these really, really challenging times, these really difficult times where I don't think I've ever worked in the sector where KCC has had quite such a budget deficit. I don't think I've ever seen as little money flowing from government down to the front line as there is currently. I've never seen quite so much competition for grant funding, and I've certainly never seen so many grant making organisations just going on a pause so they can redirect their funding. So it really unprecedented times. And then of course we've got the backdrop of cost of living crisis, huge demand for services and so on. So here are some things to try that I think can help a frontline organisation become a little more resilient. Number one, as you would expect from CAP, is look at the opportunities to diversify your income. Don't just look at more grant funding, look at other ways that you could pull money in. So there are 5 main income streams for voluntary sector organisations. There's gifts and donations, there are grants, there are public sector contracts, there's trading, open market trading, and then there's social investment. There might be the possibility of setting up some trading activity using some social investment, which you'd have to repay. But if you set it up in the right way, there are different opportunities that you could pursue there. So look at spreading the risk of your income. Don't just have one single income stream because all your eggs are effectively in one basket. Spread your income across different streams. Number 2 is digital transformation. You may be able to significantly reduce your costs by embracing digital technology. I was at a conference recently and spoke to someone who is single-handedly running a very small charity. I won't say what it is because it might give clues away. And I spoke to her for about half an hour and explained what digital tools were out there that would be either very cheap to access or free. And suddenly she realized that she could liberate 2 days a week by getting some digital process put in place. That changed her whole day and changed her whole mood, understanding what tools are there and what are available. So digital transformation, do consider embracing digital technology. And if you don't have anyone on board, try and connect with a local college or a local university, because there's bound to be someone there that can give some advice who is up to date with what's going on. If not, contact us at CAP and we'll see what we can do to help. Relationship building is really, really, really important, particularly with major donors. It's very easy when times are tough to think very inwards and think very in quite an insular way. The organisations that do best are the ones, like the picture here illustrates, are the ones that connect with others, become part of something bigger, and you build strength by being part of a sort of unified group. So relationship building has to be something you invest time and effort into. Strategic partnerships can really help as well. Identify those key people that you want to connect with, potentially because you can influence their thinking. They may be a policy maker, they may be a senior decision maker. Try and build those high level relationships because you can influence your working landscape more than you realize. Financial stability, effectively staying on top of your finances, literally looking at finances every single week. Where are we? How are we spending? Are we ahead on our expenditure? Are we behind? Keep on top of it, because it will give you a very clear position of where you are. And actually, if you can look for a multiple year grant, it will provide you with a period of financial stability, which will allow you to plan ahead. It will allow you to be more creative and more ambitious, because you have that solid foundation of stability. Better engagement. There are a lot of people that are really slipping through the net at the moment. There are a lot of people that are really isolated, and we may just be churning through the same clients that are coming back, our frequent flyers. There may be grant funding to actually target different groups. There may be grant funding to work with specific groups of people. So you could get funded through engaging with harder to reach groups. It's something I've done with Fusion Maidstone recently, and they're doing pretty well from that as well. So thinking about who they're trying to engage and really pulling in some grant funding to target those particular groups. Again, when you get really busy and when times are tough, it's very easy to stop communicating. It's very easy to stop sending messages out from the organisation. Please don't. You need to keep your profile up. You need to keep people finding you. You need to keep people aware of you. So blogging, social media, attending networking events, reminding people that you exist. Coming up to Christmas, a mail shot out to everybody on your mailing list could be a really nice way, not just to say Merry Christmas, just to remind people that you're there. A, because they might want your help. B, because they might want to support you financially at these tough times. So keep communicating. Don't do what I do personally, which is put your head down and bury yourself in work. Look up and keep sharing information about who you are and what you do. Build teamwork. It's time, and we all know how lonely the role of a CEO within a charity or within a voluntary sector organisation is. Now is the time to step up and really lead the team and get that team bonded together. So putting time and effort into building and maintaining that teamwork will pay off enormously, and it's something that we don't always find easy, but actually, if you get that team empowered, if you really put the effort into getting the elements connecting, not only do you reduce the pressure on yourself, but you actually get much more output and more productivity from the team. And the final bullet point there is plan for uncertainty. So I often get asked to help with putting strategies together for organizations, multiple year plans. And people are saying, we want to put a 5-year plan together. And I'm saying, please don't go that far ahead, because it's very uncertain. It's very volatile. There's a thing called a PESTLE analysis: political, economic, social, technological, legislative, and environmental or economic. Those factors, if you think about those, what are they going to look like in 5 years? Well, I can guarantee that technology is going to be very different in 5 years. Politically, who knows where we're going to be in 5 years? I think economically, there's going to be a huge shift as well. So if you are planning, don't plan too far ahead. Plan for the next 2 years. You can probably estimate what's going to happen over the next 2 years, but beyond that, very little chance of that. So if you want to build resilience in your organization, if you want to feel more secure, if you want to feel safer, just think about those points there and try and adopt a few of them. 3, possibly 4. If you can do all of them, great, but that's a lot of work that might take you away from the day job. But certainly look at some of those things to help build some resilience within your organization. And if you want to talk through them and you want to find out, what we could do to help you, then please just get in touch with us. The info@capenterprise.co.uk is an email that I monitor along with my other directors, so we can see that and we can respond pretty quickly. If anyone definitely does want a one-to-one meeting for free, just go to our website, which is capenterprise.co.uk, and on the front page you've got a function there where you can book a one-to-one with me, and there's no charge on that because of our ISF funding at the moment. So yeah, that's, where are we? We're looking at about 22 minutes. So we've got 8 minutes for questions if anyone's got anything that they would like to ask.
That's great. Thank you, Jason. Just to add to the ways to reach out and communicate with Cap Enterprise, if you have access to ReferKent, you can also make a referral to them directly. So you can refer yourself or another organisation or partner through to them for support and help as well. We'll we'll call it a close then, if that's okay. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining this morning. Thank you, Jason, for your presentation. If you pop me over the slides and anything else you want me to share out, then I will send it on to this morning's attendees and those who booked but weren't able to do so. Oh, Leanne's just waved her hand up. I don't know if that was a wave goodbye or a wave for a question. It might have been a wave for a goodbye, perhaps. Oh, a clap. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, then. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today, and I wish you a pleasant rest of the week. Thank you, then. Okay, bye now.
Thanks all.